Hey, everybody. It's time for Legal Help Live. It is that time of day, and it's that time of week, and you're watching City TV, Channel 16 if you're in Santa Monica, but if you're in Los Angeles, you're watching Channel 36, LA 36. My partner, Steve Solomon, and I are here to answer your legal questions. You're there to call at 1-800-405-4222. That's our toll-free number. That's the number that you call to ask a legal question and get a legal answer. And, hey, Steve.
Hey, Ralph, and all you out there, hello, good afternoon, fantastic day, beautiful sunny day in Southern California. Just glad you're not in the Midwest or the East Coast with all the snow. That's why we pay the big bucks to be out here. So if you've got a problem about being harassed on the job, if you've got a problem and they call you manager so they don't have to pay you overtime and time and a half, if you've got a problem because you've been in some kind of an accident, truck, train, swimming pool, you name it, want to talk about it. If you've been injured on the job and you want to talk about it, we'll take your questions. If you're a landlord and you want to throw somebody out, we'll talk about it. If you're a tenant and getting thrown out, we'll talk about it. If you got so much debt you don't want to do and this big rich lawyer over here doesn't want to pay your debts and you're thinking about bankruptcy, we'll talk about it. If you're not legally in the United States and want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. If you've got a green card but you got it fraudulently, we'll talk about it. We're Legal Help Live. We're here to try and solve your problems. The number's on the screen. It's easier to get on early, so give us a buzz and let's go to the phone.
Yeah, speaking of early, let's talk to Kiley. Kiley, come on and talk to us.
Hi, I love your show.
Oh, thank you, Kiley. How are you today?
Well, I'm okay, but there was an incident at the airport with my little brother. We were flying back from the Midwest back here because he's a freshman in college. He just started, and so we were at the airport, and I don't know what they were doing. They were having some kind of a drill, and they just shouted. One of the TSAs just shouted, "Freeze!" And I froze, but my brother, he was tying his shoe, and I don't know if he just wasn't paying attention, and he kept tying his shoe. It's not like he moved, but he kept tying his shoe, and the TSA was screaming at him to freeze, but he wasn't looking up, and I saw him, but I was scared to move, so he just kept tying his shoe, and the TSA ended up throwing him to the ground, and, we were all shaken up, but, once we got back to Los Angeles, we realized that he had broken his wrist, and I don't know if it was shock or adrenaline, but, he plays sports in college, and he plays baseball, and his wrist is broken, and he's out, and it's not right, and I was just wondering what my options are, or what his options are.
Wow.
I was at the Sacramento airport. I bet you maybe it was a national drill.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yesterday, or was it the L.A.? It was one of the.
It was at L.A.,
actually,
but it was yesterday morning.
Right, we're going up to Sacramento. I'm standing in line, and Saltzman's got his belt off. He's trying to hold his pants up, and somebody yells, "Freeze!" And I look around. I look like an old Charlie Chaplin movie for those of you, soundless, and everybody's standing in these positions. This guy is bent down trying to pull his pants up, and they're yelling at him, "Don't move, don't move!" And I'm saying to myself, "My God, he's going to lose his pants."
There goes Ralph. Or there goes Ralph's
And I
pants.
visualized at this time what are 200 people in those blue uniforms going to do? Jump on you. And I was just thinking this in jest because I didn't see any police officers in the immediate vicinity. And I guess what happened was, in your particular case, they did jump on him. I only know that within about 3 or 4 minutes, somebody came on a loudspeaker and said, "This has only been a drill." Now,
yeah, thank you very much for your cooperation, and everybody started running to the flights they were on the verge of missing.
So it's really funny. This is something that just happened to both of us yesterday.
But the question here is whether or not there was reasonable force used.
Well,
did they need to throw him on the ground in order to
first
do
of all,
what they needed to do?
First of all, they're federal employees. I'm not sure whether they have immunity under federal statute, but in a normal situation, you have to file a federal tort claim against the federal government as a condition of suing them and go through a whole rigmarole. And I don't know, under present situations with the climate, whether they're liable for their acts or not. I don't know that.
I'm not sure either.
You should know that.
Well,
they almost tackled you. That would have been.
Well, then I would have known.
Do you drop your pants and
then
get
I would
tackled?
have really known. Yeah. Do you want to be arrested for indecent exposure, or do you want to be arrested for moving
If you
slightly?
lost your pants, there'd be no exposure there.
I don't know about you, Solomon.
Well, so I don't know.
Do you think it's worth it to file a claim?
Well, if he's got a broken wrist, it's probably worth going and actually. I'll tell you what we'll do. The subject is pretty interesting. Whether or not TSA is liable for negligent acts, whether it's a careless act, I don't know. It's an intentional act to be jumping on. I mean, if somebody jumps on you and you break your wrist and there's no reason for it, then they may well be liable. None of us who go to airports, at least I don't, have ever been told that there's going to be a freeze drill. I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
We haven't talked about it. I haven't seen it.
I've never heard of it either.
So I don't know what you're supposed to do when some, and I don't even know who yelled freeze, because I didn't see any of the people. The people around me were sort of standing there.
It wasn't for us. It wasn't like federal officers freeze. It wasn't like that. It was just stop moving, which to me meant stop moving, not stop putting on your pants.
But the TSA people around us sort of, I'm standing there, and he's holding his pants or trying to hold them, and I'm just getting ready to be patted down by this guy who's licking his chops to put his hands on me, and he's whispering me, just, it'll be over soon. It'll be over soon. I don't know what he's talking about, but what we'll do is we'll look at the federal statute, and my partner's pretty smart on the books, and we'll check it out as to whether or not they're liable for tortious acts. And if you listen in a couple of weeks, we'll
have the answer.
We'll have the answer on the air.
The question is: Are TSA officers treated differently than other federal police officers or law enforcement officers? Because
there's lots of immunities.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
So,
and the question is: are they immune from acting in an unreasonable fashion, using unreasonable force? A, and B, was that unreasonable force under the circumstances?
And what state did this happen in?
This is in Nebraska.
Oh, it happened in Nebraska.
Well, if it's federal law, it's federal law, and the law will apply. I don't know what Nebraska state law is, but we can tell you what federal law is. Also, your relative can call the Cornhuskers Bar Association and get a referral to a local lawyer. But we'll give you the answer as we see it in 2 weeks on the air, okay?
Great, I can't wait. I watch every week. Thanks so much.
And by the way, I'm so glad that he didn't lose his pants.
Yeah, or get thrown to the ground. Thank you very much.